how I can be self-gentle. The paradox of that is that sometimes it feels that you're really alone, that you're the only one taking care of you. And then the question arises, but isn't this exactly why we are in relationships? To support each other, to love each other, to help each other. Where is that boundary then between me taking care of how I feel, me being responsible for my own happiness, while relating to another and wanting to be happy with them? So the first key for me was that self-sufficiently and letting the others be as they are and just love them like that. And truthfully, with some people, that's harder than with others. You know, some people are just so easy to love and some others are harder to love. But this is practice. And the beauty of it is it's not so much about turning the other cheek to the other, but just understanding that, well, there will always be people who ruffle our feathers, make us upset. But when you learn that you don't have to agree, you can agree to disagree. At least I can agree to disagree. The other one doesn't even have to be on the same page like me. Then something changes. When you don't want the other to always acknowledge you, tell you that you are right, agree with you, even love you, then you empower yourself. But that is kind of a tricky play that takes a long time. So I created a course about this, which is about political tolerance, cultivating political tolerance, because in the politics, this is a given, right? Politics by definitions are often about opposition, but we can learn to deal with that, not in turning the other cheek or condoning what others doing, no, but realizing that there will always be people that are different from us and that we can still empower ourselves to be who we are. The same goes for close relationships. The same goes for loved ones. So being self-gentle in relationships starts there. To be gentle to yourself and to also be gentle to others. To understand that everyone has the same need, the same wish to have a good life, to be happy, to be healthy, to be safe, to have an easy life, just like you. And by understanding that you are not responsible for being on the same page, wanting to do that in the same way, you open up for a real connection. And with some people that can mean that you will not want to see them anymore because you can love them better or accept them better when they are at a big distance. But for many others, there can come a really beautiful connection. So I'm so lucky to be with my partner, who is such a beautiful soul. And I love him so, so very much. And he taught me something beautiful. And it is, in my quest to be self-sufficient, I also sometimes forgot that it's okay to say that you need someone, that you want to connect, that you want to love, that you want to share. And that is a lesson that I've learned that is so very valuable to me. Because in that beautiful connection, you find the true openness and the true being together and being able to acknowledge that you need each other without making each other responsible for your own happiness. But the first step in that is being able to tune in also with yourself and understanding what it is that you need, and then to have the openness to share that, to be able to tell someone that you need them without expecting them to save that, to rescue that, to be responsible for you being well. It's a very nuanced story. It's something that I'm still exploring with a lot of joy, I can say. And I just wanted to share that with you because so I know that a year ago I also spoke about self-gentleness in relationship, and I know that I was always really strong on you have to be responsible for everything, how you feel yourself. You can make no one responsible for that. And I still believe that, and I know that, but I also know from experience that in the connection, in the acknowledgement of being vulnerable, while you keep it with yourself and you don't tell the other, you have to change to make me feel good. That is not the way. But this is how I am feeling. And I am here and I want to connect that there is a lot of self-gentleness. In other words, the self-gentleness in relationships lies in being willing to be open, being willing to be vulnerable, being willing to show where you are, what you are feeling, without expecting the other one to take away all your problems, but to do connect with you so you can hold hands and enjoy life together, support each other, hold each other, communicate together, and basically be the cherry on each other's cake, right? So, all right. I was speaking a lot, and I know I also promised to do a meditation, and I see I'm already 45 minutes in. So I'll just take a quick look if there are some other questions or comments, and then I want to take you in a meditation. Okay. Oh, yeah. So Jan comes back when others have fuzzy boundaries and you don't always realize that they are not so clear about their boundaries, and you start to understand that process. That's really, I know where you're coming from. Sometimes you feel that people are not so clear about their boundaries and you don't know exactly where they are. So you start to assume what the boundaries are. The most self-gentle way for me has been to just ask people to say, is this what you want? Is this not what you want? To just directly communicate with what your assumption is, or actually saying, well, I now assume that you don't want this, or what is this true? And then it's open on the table and it's up to them to tell you what it is. And it's still their responsibility to communicate about it. But you wrote that you're already getting better at this. So Slavena says to love is a decision that is supported by the commitments of the actions we're taking towards someone or ourselves, like to care, prioritize, connect, spending time with. That's absolutely true, Slavena. That's really beautiful. Thank you. Hi, April. I'm happy that you are here. Well, you're just in time for the meditation. That is really lovely. Hi, Liz. Lovely that you are here also. Ellen says, my partner can be very kind, but he sometimes loses his temper and calls me silly or ridiculous, or says, what are you carrying on about now? Sometimes I think I never want to see him again. Yeah, Ellen, that can be challenging, of course. So, I think the most important part is that you remain self-gentle there, that even when he says things that are hurtful to you, that you can leave this with him, first of all. This is him losing his temper for whatever frustration he has, for whatever reason he has this, and it doesn't mean nothing for you. It doesn't mean that you are silly. It doesn't mean that you're carrying on. You are who you are. And I know that is hard, but that is the first thing. And when you learn to really acknowledge that for yourself, that his words are something that belongs with where he is right now, and you can stick with yourself, you might find other words to tell him. It might, and that those are your words, right? This is something that you will have to find within. It can be that the moment it happens, you decide, well, I see you're ranting again. I don't feel like listening to this because I don't want to feel bad about myself. So you know what? I go to a different room. And whenever you're more cheerful, go for a run, do something to feel better. Whenever you feel better, I'm happy to see you and have a nice chat with you. Something along those lines. Because basically in this moment, you are making him responsible for you feeling good. And he's ranting to you. He's also making you responsible for feeling good because he just wants to lose whatever is going on. So it's up to you to understand that this is something that belongs to them, to him, and that you can decide for yourself what you want to do for yourself to feel good, right, now. And from then on, dynamics can change, right? In whatever way you would like it to change. I don't know if this is completely clear. All right. So, um, one of the most effective meditations in my whole experience as a meditation teacher to connect with ourselves, with gentleness for ourselves and also for others, is loving kindness meditation, also called metta. It originates in Buddhism, but it's also used by secular mindfulness. I've been studying this meditation as a researcher, in particular to cultivate political tolerance. And why is that? Because this meditation really acknowledges that every person, every being here just wants to have a good life, but we all have very different perspectives of how to get there. When we are with people who have the same ideas of how to get to the good life, it's easy. But when there are others, it might be harder. From research, we know that when you've been doing this meditation in total for at least 8 hours, so that's, let's say, 15 minutes a day for a month, right? And then you significantly start to feel different.